Have you ever felt like happiness is just out of reach? Or that somehow the joy you expected later in life isn't quite materializing? It's a quiet ache many feel. A sense that despite everything, something important is missing. We imagine retirement and later years as a golden age of peace and contentment. And for many, it is. But for others, there's this surprising current of dissatisfaction, sometimes even a profound lack of joy that they never anticipated. You see, sometimes the very things we think are making us happy, or the habits we've slipped into without thinking, are actually subtly eroding our sense of well-being. It's not always obvious, and it can be a bit of a shock to realize that some common patterns might be holding you back from the vibrant, joyful life you absolutely deserve. There are 5 surprising mistakes, easy to fall into, that can really put a damper on your happiness as you get older. In this video, we're going to look at these 5 crucial areas and talk about how understanding them can unlock so much more joy and fulfillment. It's about making small shifts that can have a profound impact. Stick around and watch to the end, because there's something I want to share that might truly surprise you and change how you think about your own happiness journey. Let's dive straight into the first of these surprising pitfalls that can rob us of our joy as we navigate these later years. And it's something many of us do without even realizing it, often thinking we're doing the opposite. It's the tendency to live too much in the past. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with cherished memories, reminiscing about happy times, or reflecting on our life's journey. That's a vital part of who we are. But there's a fine line between appreciating the past and getting stuck there. This isn't just about positive nostalgia, though that can become a trap too if it makes the present feel dull by comparison. It's also heavily weighted by focusing on regrets, on the what-ifs, the opportunities missed, the mistakes made, or even dwelling on past hurts and grievances. When we spend a disproportionate amount of our mental energy replaying old tapes, whether they're rose-tinted or painful, we're taking energy away from the only moment we truly have any control over, now. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "Things were so much better back then," or perhaps replaying a difficult conversation or a bad decision from years ago, feeling the sting of it all over again? Each time we do this, we're essentially pulling ourselves out of the present. We're not noticing the quiet beauty of the morning light, the warmth of a cup of tea, the simple pleasure of a comfortable chair, or the potential for a new connection or experience happening right now. This constant backward glance, especially when tinged with regret or longing for a time that no longer exists, can breed discontent. It sets up an unfair comparison between a romanticized or painful past and the reality of today, making today seem inherently less vibrant, less exciting, or less valuable. We might even use the past as an excuse not to engage with the present or future. "I'm too old now. I missed my chance. That's just the way things are now. Not like they used to be." This mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, limiting our willingness to seek out new sources of happiness and satisfaction in the here and now. So, how do we avoid getting trapped in the past? It's not about forgetting, but about shifting our focus. One powerful practice is mindfulness, simply paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This could be as simple as truly focusing on the taste of your food, the feeling of water in the shower, or the sensations in your body as you walk. It trains your brain to appreciate the now. Another step is conscious gratitude. Instead of dwelling on what was or wasn't, make a daily habit of noting 3 things you are grateful for today, no matter how small. This actively pulls your attention to the good things happening in your current life. If regrets surface, acknowledge them without getting lost in them. You can't change the past, but you can learn from it and use that wisdom to inform your present actions. Sometimes, writing down regrets or grievances and then symbolically letting them go, perhaps by tearing up the paper, or just acknowledging them and consciously choosing to focus forward, can be a helpful release. The goal isn't to ignore history, but to use it as a foundation, not a cage, by intentionally shifting our attention to the present and future possibilities. We open ourselves up to finding joy in the here and now. Closely linked to living in the past is another significant mistake: neglecting social connections. As we age, our social circles can naturally change. Friends might move away. Health issues can make it harder to get out. Or sadly, we may lose loved ones. It's easy to become more isolated without even realizing it's happening. Perhaps it feels like too much effort to go out. Or maybe you feel you don't fit in with certain groups anymore. Whatever the reason, withdrawing from social interaction is a major contributor to unhappiness. Humans are fundamentally social creatures. We thrive on connection, on feeling understood, on shared experiences, and on having people to lean on and laugh with. When these connections diminish, we can experience loneliness, which is a profound and painful feeling that goes beyond just being alone. Loneliness is the feeling of being disconnected or lacking meaningful relationships, and it has serious implications for both our mental and physical health. It can increase the risk of depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and even physical health problems like heart disease. Many people fall into the trap of thinking, "Oh, I'm fine on my own," or "I don't need lots of friends." While solitary pursuits are valuable, completely withdrawing from meaningful interaction is detrimental. The painful reality is that isolation often leads to a downward spiral. The less connected you feel, the less energy you have to reach out, and the more isolated you become. It's a vicious cycle that can be incredibly hard to break. The joy and lightness that comes from sharing a laugh, a story, or even a quiet moment of companionship are essential nutrients for the soul. These connections provide support during tough times and amplify the good times. They give us perspective, a sense of belonging, and opportunities to contribute to others' lives, which in itself is a source of happiness. So, what can we do to combat this slide into isolation? It requires conscious effort, but it's incredibly rewarding. First, assess your current connections. Are there people you used to be close to that you could reach out to? Even a phone call or a card can be a start. Don't wait for others to initiate. Take the lead sometimes. Second, explore opportunities to meet new people who share your interests. This could involve joining a club, volunteering, taking a class, or participating in activities at a local community center or place of worship. Shared interests provide a natural starting point for connection. Third, quality often matters more than quantity. Focus on nurturing a few close relationships where you feel comfortable being yourself and where there's mutual support. Fourth, embrace technology. For those unable to get out easily, video calls or online groups related to your hobbies can offer valuable connection. It's not the same as in-person interaction, but it's far better than no interaction at all. Finally, make social connection a priority. Just like you would a doctor's appointment. Schedule time to connect with others, even if it feels like an effort initially. The rewards in terms of increased happiness, reduced stress, and improved well-being are immeasurable. Don't let yourself drift into isolation. Actively build and maintain your bridges to others. Now that we've talked about the importance of being present and staying connected, let's move on to another mistake that can subtly limit our happiness. Moving on from how we relate to the past and others, let's consider a mistake that often creeps in almost unnoticed as we get older: resisting change and stopping the process of learning. It's easy to fall into a comfortable routine, where each day looks much like the last. We know what to expect. We know how to navigate our familiar world. And there's a certain security in that predictability. However, when this comfort morphs into a rigid unwillingness to embrace anything new, whether it's a new piece of technology, a new way of doing something, a new idea, or even just trying a different route to the shop, we start to close ourselves off from opportunities for growth, stimulation, and ultimately, Happiness. The world keeps changing, and while it can sometimes feel overwhelming, resisting it completely leaves us feeling left behind, irrelevant, and even a bit frustrated or cynical. This resistance can stem from fear of not being able to learn something new, fear of failure, or fear of feeling foolish. But the painful reality is that when we stop learning and adapting, our world shrinks, our minds can become less flexible, our conversations might become limited, and we miss out on the excitement and sense of accomplishment that comes from mastering a new skill or understanding a new concept. Think about someone who refuses to learn how to use a smartphone or engage with email or social media. While they might avoid some frustrations, they also cut themselves off from easy communication with family, especially grandchildren, access to vast amounts of information, convenient services, and new ways to connect with others who share their interests online. Their world becomes physically limited to where they can go and whom they can easily see. Embracing change and committing to lifelong learning isn't about becoming a tech guru overnight or going back to university, though it could be if you want. It's about maintaining a curious and open mind. It's about being willing to try something a little different. This could be trying a new recipe, listening to a different genre of music, reading a book on a subject you know nothing about, attempting a crossword puzzle, learning a few words of a new language, or taking a local class in pottery, painting, or history. It could be as simple as figuring out how to use a new app that helps you track your walks or connect with a community group. The act of learning itself keeps our brains active and healthy, which is crucial for overall well-being. It also provides a sense of purpose and accomplishment. It prevents boredom and provides new topics for conversation. It opens doors to new experiences and meeting new people. Consider the difference in happiness between someone who says, "I'm too old for all that new stuff," and someone who says, "That looks interesting. I wonder how it works." The latter person remains engaged with life, adaptable, and finds joy in discovering new things. They are less likely to feel left behind or irrelevant. They feel capable and empowered. So, make a conscious effort to step outside your comfort zone just a little bit each week. Be a beginner again. It's a humbling but ultimately rewarding experience. Don't let the fear of not being perfect stop you from trying. The goal is the process of learning and engaging, not instant mastery. Staying curious and open to change is a powerful antidote to stagnation and a key ingredient for sustained happiness. Now, perhaps one of the most fundamental mistakes that older people can make, often due to understandable reasons like aches, pains, or just a general slowing down, is neglecting their physical well-being. It might sound obvious, but the connection between how we feel physically and our overall happiness is profound. When your body hurts, when you lack energy, when basic tasks become difficult, it's incredibly hard to feel cheerful, optimistic, or engaged with life. Yet, it's easy to let healthy habits slide. Maybe exercise becomes less frequent, or stops altogether. Eating habits might become less nutritious, perhaps relying on convenience foods or skipping meals. Regular health checkups might be postponed or overlooked. The painful reality here is that ignoring your physical health has a direct and often severe impact on your mental and emotional state. Chronic pain, low energy levels, poor sleep, and the limitations imposed by declining health can lead to frustration, irritability, and depression. It makes it harder to pursue hobbies, socialize, or maintain independence, all of which are vital for happiness. You might feel like your body is betraying you, leading to feelings of helplessness. Furthermore, many age-related health issues are preventable or manageable through lifestyle choices. Ignoring your health means potentially worsening conditions or developing new ones that could significantly reduce your quality of life and your capacity for joy. It's a mistake that can literally reduce the number of years you have to enjoy life and the quality of those years. Taking care of your physical health is not about being young again. It's about optimizing the health you have now to live as fully and happily as possible. It's about having the energy to do the things you love, the mobility to go where you want, and the resilience to bounce back from challenges. What does this look like in practice? It means prioritizing movement. You don't need to run marathons. Simple activities like walking, swimming, gentle cycling, dancing, or seated exercises can make a huge difference. Find something you enjoy and aim for consistency. Even short bursts of activity throughout the day are beneficial. It also means paying attention to nutrition, fueling your body with nutritious foods, plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein provides the energy you need and supports overall health. This doesn't mean strict dieting unless advised by a doctor, but rather making mindful choices most of the time. Staying hydrated is also incredibly important. And crucially, it means staying connected with your healthcare providers. Regular checkups allow for early detection and management of potential issues. Don't just accept aches and pains as part of getting old. Discuss them with your doctor. Often, there are things that can be done to alleviate discomfort and improve function. Taking proactive steps for your physical health is an investment in your happiness and independence. It empowers you to continue living a vibrant, engaged life. Let's move on to the final mistake on our list. One that is perhaps the most insidious because it affects our fundamental drive and motivation. So, we've talked about freeing ourselves from the past, staying connected with others, keeping our minds active, and taking care of our bodies. The final mistake, and it's a big one, is losing a sense of purpose. For many people, their working lives provide a strong sense of purpose, contributing to something, having responsibilities, using skills, and being part of a team. Retirement, while eagerly anticipated, can sometimes leave a void. The structure and meaning that work provided are gone, and without consciously replacing them with something else, a feeling of aimlessness can set in. This isn't limited to retirement. It can happen whenever major life roles change, such as children leaving home or stepping back from long-held responsibilities. The painful reality of losing a sense of purpose is that it can lead to feelings of emptiness, boredom, and a lack of motivation. When you wake up in the morning with no compelling reason to get out of bed, no goal to work towards, no one relying on you in some way, it's easy for days to blur together, and for a general sense of ennui to take hold. You might feel like your most useful days are behind you, which is simply not true. Feeling needed, feeling like you are contributing, and having something meaningful to dedicate your time and energy to are fundamental human needs that continue throughout life. Without them, even with perfect health and abundant social connections, happiness can feel shallow or fleeting. Purpose gives direction, motivation, and a reason to engage with the world. Finding or redefining your sense of purpose in later life is not about finding a new job necessarily, though it could be. It's about identifying what gives your life meaning and focusing your energy there. This could take many forms. Perhaps it's volunteering for a cause you care about, sharing your skills and time to help others. It could be mentoring younger people, passing on your wisdom and experience. It could be dedicating yourself to a creative pursuit, writing, painting, music, crafting, something that challenges you and brings you joy. It could be learning a new skill with the intention of using it, perhaps teaching others or contributing to a community project. It could even be focusing on being the best possible grandparent, partner, or friend, actively cultivating those relationships and being a source of support and love. It's about having something that excites you, something you look forward to, something that makes you feel valuable and engaged with the world beyond your own immediate needs. Starting this journey requires reflection. Ask yourself, what do I care deeply about? What skills or knowledge do I have that I could share? What activities make me feel alive and energized? What problems in the world would I like to help solve? Don't feel pressured to find one grand purpose. It can be a collection of smaller things that add up. The key is to be proactive in seeking out and committing to activities that bring meaning to your days. This might involve trying a few different things until you find something that resonates. Don't wait for purpose to find you. Go out and build it. Having a strong sense of purpose provides a framework for your time, gives you goals to work towards, and fosters a sense of fulfillment that is essential for deep and lasting happiness. It reminds you that you still have so much to offer the world and so much left to experience and achieve. It's a powerful motivator to stay engaged, stay healthy, and continue growing. So, we've explored these 5 common pitfalls that can undermine happiness as we get older, getting stuck in the past. Neglecting vital social connections. Closing ourselves off to new experiences and learning. Letting our physical health slide. And losing that crucial sense of purpose. These aren't necessarily conscious choices we make to be unhappy, but rather habits we can slip into, or challenges that arise, that subtly but surely chip away at our well-being. The good news, the truly encouraging news, is that understanding these mistakes is the first step towards correcting them. Every single one of these areas is within your power to influence and change. Starting today, it's easy to look at these and feel a bit overwhelmed, or perhaps even discouraged if you recognize yourself in some of them. But please, don't let that be your takeaway. Think of this not as a list of failures, but as a roadmap to a more joyful future. Each of these points represents an opportunity to consciously choose to focus on the present moment and find gratitude there. An opportunity to reach out to someone, rekindle a friendship, or join a group and feel the warmth of connection. An opportunity to learn something new, challenge your mind, and experience the excitement of discovery. An opportunity to take even small steps towards better physical health, gaining more energy and vitality. And an opportunity to identify what truly matters to you now and dedicate your time to pursuits that bring you a deep sense of meaning and fulfillment. Remember, happiness isn't a destination you suddenly arrive at. It's an ongoing practice, built on the choices you make day by day. It's about nurturing your mind, your body, your relationships, and your spirit. It's about staying engaged with the world and believing in your continued value and potential. It doesn't require huge, drastic changes overnight. Small, consistent steps in the right direction can make a world of difference. Adding a short walk to your routine, calling a friend once a week, deciding to learn how to use that app, volunteering for just a couple of hours a month, or simply spending 5 minutes truly appreciating the sunrise. These small actions accumulate and build momentum. They are acts of self-care and self-respect, declarations that your happiness matters, now more than ever. Please don't fall into the trap of thinking it's too late, or that these things are just part of getting old and can't be changed. That limiting belief itself is another barrier to happiness. The human capacity for growth, connection, and finding purpose doesn't diminish with age. In fact, with the wisdom and experience you've gained, you are uniquely positioned to find profound joy in these later chapters of life. It's about being proactive, being gentle with yourself, and celebrating every small step forward. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Which of these points resonated most with you? Have you found ways to overcome any of these challenges in your own life? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your perspective could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up. That helps more people see it and hopefully benefit from the message. And consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on future videos designed to help you live your most vibrant and fulfilling life at any age. Ultimately, your happiness is largely in your hands. By becoming aware of these potential pitfalls and actively choosing to focus your energy on presence, connection, growth, health, and purpose, you can unlock incredible levels of joy and satisfaction. It's never too late to make changes that improve your quality of life and your state of mind. Embrace the possibilities, take those small steps, and live your best life at every age.